Hey guys, welcome to the next edition of Poker Life India. So today what we're going to do is cover something really interesting. I'd mentioned it in my first heads up meeting with Dhaval Mutkal, and he recommended the book, and I strongly recommend this book. It's called The Mental Game of Poker by Jared Tendler. And most poker players, I know a lot of them who regard this as a Bible of sorts for any poker player. So the reason for this is the mental aspect of poker is such a big factor. Yes, there's the technical side, but if you've got to beat variance and be in the game for long and come out as a winning player, you've got to handle your mental side of things, right? So what I want to do is briefly talk about this book. I'll do this in a two-part video, and I want to portray my understanding and how I implemented the points in this book. I want to take you through it so you can implement it in the way you see fit. And why I'm doing this video is because I actually believe in how important this can be as a poker player for you. And so let's dive right into it. So now the book is about taking the problem of emotions and handling it head on, right? So what it says is that emotions is not a problem in itself, but more a symptom which you should be ready for, and symptoms which indicates when there's a problem, where there's a problem. So the idea is not to kill and shoot the messenger, but to actually try and understand what these emotions are trying to tell you, right? So let's start about the big word tilt, right? Tilt is basically when you are angry and frustrated and then you play bad.
Enough to chase, but old enough to know better.
Are we too grown to change? Are we too grown to mess around? Ooh, and I can't wait forever, baby. Both of us should know better.
Ooh, 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 been wishing for you. Ooh, ooh. Try to do what lovers do. Ooh.
And in this episode, we're going to talk all about that. Let's talk about the foundation of things. That's where we begin. So I think in learning poker, what this book says is you have to have a learning process. You might all do it differently, but this book talks about three processes. I'm going to intertwine them together so that you get the best gist of it. It's not about mugging up what these three processes are, but it's more about understanding them, right? So the first of them is the ALM process, which is the adult learning or the ALM model. Now it talks about 4 steps or 4 phases where you are mentally, conscious and the subconscious. The first one being called the unconscious incompetence. So these are mistakes where you don't really care, you don't give a shit, and you're playing blissfully with ignorance, right? That's the state where you are unconsciously incompetent. The second step is consciously incompetent. You're consciously making the moves, but you don't know that is a mistake, and you keep making those errors. Third stage is where your brain is working, there are no distractions, and it's called the conscious competence, where you're in the zone, you're thinking, and because of specific thinking, you're making those moves. Conscious competence. Now, this is a good phase to be in, but where you need to be is unconscious competence. What does that mean? That means that even when you say are tilted, or you're distracted, or something that is affecting your A game, you still know what to do. So for example, mentally, suppose you're on a flush draw and some fish goes all in. Now that's a massive overbet. You might be drunk or whatever, but you've played poker so much, you've learned so much that you're like, oh, my odds are this much. It's not worth going in for a flush draw, right? Especially in a tournament. So you take the right call, no matter how tilted you are. So the gist of it is that you should be in a phase of unconscious competence, where you train to such a level that even when you're pressurized, you take the right call. The nirvana stage, that's where you reach. Okay? That was one long monologue, man. I don't know how you guys went through it. Let me do something special for you. Okay, these 4 stages of ALM, I have converted them the way I see it through my favorite movie, The Matrix. Everyone loves The Matrix, right? So let's see how we can learn about these 4 stages through my favorite movie, The Matrix.
Last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit
The
hole
blue
goes.
pill is the unconscious incompetence. For some players, ignorance is bliss. Now we wake up to conscious incompetence. It's a shock to be awake, to realize how many things you didn't know about poker, how to calculate outs.
Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
You didn't know what there was to learn, but now you know what is there to learn. So the next step, conscious competence.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
This is all about learning and picking up new skills. The technicals. There's more to the fight, but this is the longest part of the state that you're going to be in. A lot of time training and learning and reading. This is the grind, the intellectual grind. And most of the time in the process, it's gonna be you getting your ass kicked for a while, as you can see.
You think that's air you're breathing now?
A good coach is also a good thing to have in your corner,
Again.
who's gonna test your limits.
What are you waiting for? You're faster than this. Don't think you are. Know you are.
Knowing is the next state that he's gonna talk about, that we are gonna see. And this is the part where your skills actually start showing results. Oh, and this is the main one, unconscious competence. You don't even think, poker comes to you. You just know what to do without even thinking. And this is the state you want to achieve. Well, I can't guarantee you can dodge bullets, as you can over here. But it's quite a perspective and a good state to be in.
He is the one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, different situation, mixed boards, coordinated boards, distracting loudmouth guys. You're gonna play through it all. Because you have achieved unconscious competence. Oh yeah.
Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.